Well, I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm really not. We saw this coming. I figured most of the NBA players at the time felt this way. But as you know by now, if you don't know by now, Jeff Teague, former NBA basketball player, played for the Hawks, Pacers, Timberwolves, and my Milwaukee Bucks. Went in the ring with them, getting one All-Star with the Hawks when the Hawks had four All-Stars, including Al Horford, I think Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague, and Kyle Korver as All-Stars. I think it was the 2014-15 season. That's where Jeff Teague became an All-Star. So there's that. I think Jeff Teague was on the Celtics as well for a brief time before he went to the Bucks. But anyways, on his podcast, I wouldn't say I listened to on the day, but I even hear some clips, like short clips from what he be talking about. And I guess it was a podcast with him and the former Miami Heat players, Mike Miller and Udonis Haslem. They're talking about, well, Jeff Teague said, when they got LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, he said, called them cheating. Those two had nothing to say about it because it was the truth. Jeff Teague basically says, I was a young one coming up in the league. I was just trying to ball. I think he was on Indiana at the time. I think he was drafted by Indiana. Or was he drafted by Pacers, then went to Indiana next? I know he's from Indiana. Man, he been on the Hawks. Yeah, he's on the Hawks. We talk about Joe Johnson. Talking about, I was just a young player just trying to ball, try to get a contract. And I was at Joe Johnson's house. And he started flipping out once he heard the news and everything, which makes sense. Because I think most of these players coming up saw the players of the past go at each other with their own teams, and they hear that you had three stars in their prime going to one team. It got ridiculous. And I think everybody was trying to get over the Boston Celtics, who already had Ray Allen, even the rise of Rondo, Paul Pierce, and KG. But as the story goes, they was older at that time. But here's the thing about that I constantly keep hearing before I go into what I really want to talk about. Well, at least into it. There's always this comparison when it comes to Kevin Durant, because he talked about Kevin Durant too, going to the Golden State Warriors. But there's always this comparison with Kevin Durant and LeBron James and how they created these super teams. As we all know, Kevin Durant went to a team that was 73-9, went to the NBA Finals the year before he went on there, and lost in 7 games, right? And also, Kevin Durant had a chance to beat that 73-9 team. But in my opinion, I think he choked on purpose. Because I watched that game, and he was equally to blame just as much as Westbrook was equally to blame. But they like to blame Westbrook, put it on Westbrook, the media, I should say, put all the blame on Westbrook for losing that series. Because they did blow a 3-1 lead as well. But I think I do recall before LeBron went to the Miami Heat, I think either they was 43 and like 39 or something like that in the Miami Heat and went to the playoffs. Which I think they was. Let me see right quick. I know they was. But I'm just glad that, some of these dudes are using their freaking podcasts for the greater good of the sport. And saying what they need to say, because both of these dudes, both LeBron and KD, did cheat the league. They cheated, jumping on these super teams. And now I think they're cursed. I said it, curse for eternity. Well, maybe not for eternity, but for the rest of their NBA careers. Cursed. Because now, ever since then, both of these dudes, suckers, had created various super teams. Okay, LeBron did get a bubble championship. But both of these dudes create various super teams and have fallen short. What was the Miami Heat that year? So the year before, the Miami Heat got Chris Bosh and LeBron James. Actually, Miami Heat was 47-35, fifth in the East, and they lost in 5 games to the Celtics that would go on to play in the finals that year against the Lakers and losing 7. So both of these teams were playoff-bound teams. Golden State being better, of course. So they both did well. I think LeBron was less egregious than KD. As Stephen A. Smith always says, KD made the weakest move in NBA history. But sorry, LaStans, this is reality. We ain't gonna try to sit here and be revisionist about it. It's true. Both of these dudes jumped on a different team to stack their team up. Results are different though. Through their first years, he got to the finals and lost to the Dallas Mavericks, an underdog. And LeBron talk about LeBron sitting here talking about, oh, I've always been an underdog. I always want me to fail. Well, I know one thing. You're Miami Heat in the 2010. Well, not the 2010, but the 2011 NBA Finals. They was picked highly to win that finals. The underdog being Dallas, and the underdog beat you. And Kevin Durant, they ended up beating LeBron James. The irony behind it, beating LeBron James in 2017 NBA Finals. But it's so hard to put these dudes in front. So hard to put these dudes in the top 10 when he did this. I just don't understand how some of these fans can fix their lips and say that, knowing how these guys got their rings. They ain't get their rings grinding it out. No, they took the easy way out. Sort of like a lot of people do these days. They like to take the easy way out with stuff. Quick, rich schemes. It always feels better when you grind it out, run the marathon, and win it at the end. You feel accomplished. But anyways, Jeff T ain't going to be the only one telling how that is. I know there's going to be a lot of NBA players that felt the same way, and they didn't want to say anything at the time because Clutch Sports be running stuff, especially now. So expect as LeBron retires, KD, not so much KD. KD, I don't think got a hold like that, but as LeBron retires, some of these other dudes retire, ain't nothing LeBron can do about it anymore. The truth will set you free.